Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and genders all across the spectrum, to today's episode of Jivin with Jack, episode 60. 60. By my math, that's about 30 weeks of shows. 30 weeks of shows. Obviously, we had a couple of weeks here and there where we didn't do any shows, but you get it. Sometimes we need a break. But I want to thank all of you for being here today. Listen. I got to thank you for Tuesday's show. Tuesday's show, we are well over 240 views. When we first started this channel, or rather when I joined the channel, we would average 20 views, 30 views, 10 views. But because of people like you who sit and watch it, we're up to 200 views a show, 150 views. So I really appreciate it. Don't think for a moment that I take for granted those of you who watch. Even those of you who get upset with us or get upset at our opinions, we have nothing but love for you. But let's see who's in the comment section. We have Christopher Barker. Damn, get me in the same room with Miley and Kim Giggity. Yeah, you know what? Because of Spider-Man and the DCE news, we have been just mostly talking. We used to cover a lot of gossip, but, we're still talking about the DCEU tonight. And we're going to talk about some of the drama happening with Kim, Miley, and Pete Davidson. Look, guys, if you ever feel not confident, just think of Pete Davidson, all right? Every time I mention Pete Davidson when I host Trivia Nights, I ask all the girls on the microphone, like, hot or not? And it's overwhelmingly not. But the guy's got charm, personality, and he has dated some of the most beautiful women in Hollywood. Kate Beckinsale, Ariana Grande, Kim Kardashian. Something was happening with Miley. It's pretty cool. But guys, we are talking a little bit of the DCEU. I know it has been a controversial topic, and I know that right now there is a grand split. And sometimes it feels that maybe my opinion doesn't come across as well as I want it to. For those of you who are wondering, where does Jack stand on the DCEU? Does he prefer this or that? Does he want this or does he want him? Where do I stand on this whole DCEU reset? First of all, this is not what I wanted. I think that the effort that the Snyder community did over the last 4 or 5 years really showed that there is a lot of love for Snyder's version of the DCEU. Now, does that mean I want him to come and take control and become the Kevin Feige? No. But I will say this. Zach is a phenomenal filmmaker. He is not perfect. His movies, like everyone else, have issues. I really enjoyed Man of Steel. It's probably one of my favorite movies, comic book movies. And I grew up with Christopher Reeve. To this day, when I think of the word Superman, I think Christopher Reeve. And Henry Cavill was a nobody. I mean, he was in the Tudors. I don't know if you guys ever saw the Tudors. That's how I know him from. He was King Henry VIII's closest friend. And I thought he did a decent job, but the way Zach approached the story, David Goyer and Chris Nolan approached the story, I'm like, this is what I want. Yeah, sure, we got the MCU doing their thing, but I want someone approaching it from a certain perspective, an intellectual perspective. With Man of Steel, they approached it as a first contact story. Because if you ever watch the original Superman or you read the older Superman comics, when Lois Lane meets with Clark Kent or Superman, he's like, yes, I'm from a planet called Krypton. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. And it's a little too easy. Like, she should be like, oh my God, you're an alien. We're not alone in the universe. And that's exactly how that world reacted. And I understand people felt that it was too dark and everything, but see, those things can be amended and changed with time. I really think the biggest mistake was not releasing a 3-hour version of BVS in the theaters. Now, I don't think that movie would have gotten any Oscars, but I think it would have been better received. But I think what's happening now with the DCEU, or whatever you want to call it, the world of DC, I think the seeds were laid in March 2016. Now, think about how long ago that was. We're talking about this March. This March will make it 6 years. Was it 6 years? 4, 2? Yeah, 6 years. Think about that. That essentially, when that movie underperformed, I'm talking about Batman versus Superman, when that movie underperformed, the decision was made then that we have to change course. Zach was already filming Justice League. They couldn't change course. Then there's a tragedy that happens in Zach's life. They use that for lack of a better word, opportunity to retool the show, or rather the franchise. And I think this has been the plan for 5-6 years now. And the Snyder Cut was an aberration. It might have been more HBO and AT&T that had more to do with that than Warner Brothers. And I understand, look, in my head, they could have continued the DCEU in their own way. Okay, we'll use Henry Cavill Superman, but we're going to have a different writer and director. First rumors, it was J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams wants to make woke Superman. Okay, fine. With Ta-Nehisi Coates writing. But you have in Superman a phenomenal actor. You have a phenomenal actor whose star power is getting bigger and bigger. Henry Cavill is a megastar right now. And if you don't take advantage of that, people are going to look back and say, why is he not Superman? Why did you not use him as Superman? I'm not saying it has to be Man of Steel 2 directed by Zack Snyder. I'm saying a Man of Steel 2. Get a good writer, a good director. Why has that not been greenlit? There's a yearning for it. And right now, Warner Brothers, I feel like I don't think they're thinking like capitalists. See, I'll put it this way. I'm a capitalist. And if you're a true capitalist, you're saying what sells, what makes money. Man of Steel made $600 million. Okay, it's not that great. Batman vs Superman made $858 million. Okay, well, we're hoping it cracked $1 billion. Henry Cavill might not be the best horse to bet on. What? Henry Cavill is in Mission Impossible? Henry Cavill's in Sherlock Holmes or Enola Holmes? Henry Cavill's on The Witcher? Henry Cavill's becoming a bigger and bigger name. Let's make some money. Let's make Man of Steel. Get Henry. Henry, how much money do you want? 20, 25, 30 million? Let's make Man of Steel 2. Let's get a different writer. Let's get a different director. And we'll just keep going the story. We'll keep the story going. Okay, here's Zack Snyder did Act 1, for lack of a better word, Phase 1. Zack started the story. Now let's continue it. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Let's keep going. But they're not doing that. They're not saying, hey, Henry Cavill's hot right now. Let's make another movie. They're doing it with Gal. And they're doing it with Jason Momoa, but they're not doing it with Henry Cavill. And I wonder, and it blows. Okay, Affleck says he's out. Affleck said he was out. He came back, gave closure to his character. That's his decision. He has busier things to do, like Jennifer Lopez. So I understand. He wants to move on. He's a director as well. He wants to make his own movies. He wants to do his own thing. Godspeed, Ben. I still want to see him as Batman. I know we're going to see him one last time in The Flash. I still want to see that story with Deathstroke, but I don't know if he doesn't want to do it. We can't force him. But okay, why not just continue the story? Why reboot everything? I know they say that was kind of the plan, but you have a young Superman, you have a young and hot Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, you have Jason Momoa, you got Ezra Miller, you're going to introduce a new Batgirl, a Supergirl. Why not put them all together? Why do this reboot thing? Why do this thing where you just destroy the older films? Now, I know they say, well, it's going to be a branching timeline, right? Okay, it's a branching timeline. Fine. But if you're going to branch the timelines and you're not going to see that timeline anymore, it's pretty much erased. Think of X-Men 3. X-Men 3 essentially has been erased from the timeline because of Days of Future Past, right? But you could say, well, no, that's another timeline. Okay, great. Did you see any sequels to X-Men 3? No, you didn't, because it's snip. So I don't know why this is being done, and I'm curious why the studio went in this direction. But let me just say hi to more people. Chris, I'm sorry. DC has dropped the ball for me, which is why I went back to collecting music CDs. You know what? I just bought an artist named James. What's his name? James Darren. He does a lot of old Sinatra type stuff, and I bought his album. Well, Tom Welling for me was the best Clark Kent, because he never really wore the suit except the last 3 seconds of season 25 of Smallville. Cilantro, guys. Hope you have a nice, happy, thirsty Thursday. C. Reed in here run says, I said let them run with this little experiment, and if it doesn't work, then it's WB's fault, and they got no one else to blame, and they can't blame Zach. Awesome show, Jack. Thank you, C. Reed in here. The way I look at it is, okay, look, okay, I have been hard on Marvel, but when Marvel goofs up, they don't behave like this. So for some reason, the Incredible Hulk underperformed. It didn't do as well as Iron Man. I'm going back to 2008. Edward Norton Wasn't working. They recast him, and they kept telling the story. General Ross from that movie, Incredible Hulk, they kept going the story. They weren't like, oh, we screwed up. I guess we're going to reboot. Could you imagine if Marvel rebooted every time they had a dud on their hands? What happened after Thor the Dark World? They got a different writer and a director. Now, however you feel about Thor the Dark Ragnarok, and I know some people love it, some people hate it, you have to admit, it resonated with people. General audiences loved Thor Ragnarok. So now people want Thor 4. If you had told me that Thor would get a fourth movie and Cap would not, and Iron Man would not, and I'm not including Sam Wilson's Captain America in this, I would be like, no, of course Iron Man gets a fourth movie. Cap gets a fourth movie, not Thor. But that's what happens when, okay, we made a dud. And by dud, I don't mean a bad movie. I'm just saying a movie that didn't resonate, that didn't leave an impact. Let's get Taika Waititi. And now he's got a fourth movie coming out. Could you imagine if Marvel kept rebooting every time they had a movie that didn't do well? I mean, people did not like Captain Marvel. Now they're doing the Marvels. I don't know if that'll be good, but fingers crossed. Eternals, I don't know if that'll get a sequel. It probably will. But they're probably going to get a better writer and director and not someone who made an awful film that won Best Picture. Christopher Berg says, I feel like the Snyder Cut could be 3 hours instead of 4. Yeah, some things, because you have to understand, and this is where it's like sometimes the anti-Snyder fans get like, oh, no one was going to watch a 4-hour movie. I'm like, guys, be rational. The 4-hour movie was, let's say this was going to be released in theaters. Zack Snyder's Justice League was not going to be released in 4 hours in theaters. It was going to be probably closer to 3, maybe 2 hours and 50 minutes. But because it was HBO Max, Zack's like, I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to give you every scene, every bit of cut dialogue. I'm going to put it all back in because the fans want it, and 4 hours, take it. Obviously, if this was going to be a theatrical version, he would have cut a lot of stuff out. And Warner Brothers would be like, get it to 2.5 hours. There we go. Hunter Iggy says, Pop Culture Corner, I have a question. What is going to happen to the actors and actresses in CW shows? And do you see them in the DCEU or going to Marvel? I'm going to go ahead and say no. So part of the things we're going to talk about today, WB is putting the CW show on sale. And apparently, since CW was formed in 2006, it has not made money, which blows my mind. It actually makes more money with its deals with Netflix. CW has not been doing as well as UPN and the WB. So if you go back in time, there were two networks, the WB and UPN. UPN had Star Trek. That was their big thing. They had Voyager, they had DS9. That was their thing. The WB had shows like Seventh Heaven, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, which was the highest rated show before it was canceled because of effing Joss Whedon, Smallville. For some reason, they combined the networks, and now they were going to combine the networks, and apparently the shows, while they are popular, are not ratings kings. Even I, who watch Flash and Arrow, I never watch them live. I always DVR them and I watch them later. Legends of Tomorrow, I watch it later. I don't watch it live. Do I think they have a role in who would you really want to see from the CW shows in the movies? The only person I can even say is the Arrow, and I understand he dies in the last season. Spoilers. He's probably the only one if they do a multiverse thing and they want to grab him and like, oh, it's the Arrow. But other than that, I don't know. Yeah, Chris, here's the thing. I may not like the direction they're going it with The Flash, but I don't think it'll be a bad movie. For the simple fact that Michael Keaton is a very versatile actor. He walked away from $25 million in 1995. And I don't think he'd be coming back if the script wasn't good. I think they probably had to really talk to him, and they said, look, this is what we're writing. This is what we're doing. I think his story will probably be the most interesting story of the film. I don't know if they're going to mess up his Batman. I think his Batman, believe it or not, will be fine, because it seems that Andy Muschietti was probably growing up with the Michael Keaton Batman. So he's going to, even in the Flash teaser that we got, that's the music from the Michael Keaton film. So I don't think that's going to happen. Juan Carlos says, Cavill is an A-list celebrity, not high A-list like Tom Cruise or any diva-type superstars, but he's up there. Exactly right. He's not Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but he could be. Maybe not that big, but this guy right now, I think he could be the next James Bond if they're not listening too much woke politics and get like a person in a wheelchair to play James Bond. He is a perfect James Bond. He's got a wonderful English accent. He's handsome. He's tall. He's the right age where he's not too young and not too old, where you can see like, all right, this guy's been in the service for about 10, 15 years. Perfect. Gal is hot and sexy. Giggity. Yo, yeah, listen, we're going to get into that because Variety put an article about Gal Gadot. You know, Gal Gadot was cast and it caused an uproar because, you know, she's not Egyptian or African. And I'm like, oh my God. And this is where you need to know a little bit of history. The ancient Egyptians were not African, sub-Saharan Africans. Number two, Cleopatra was not African. She was Macedonian Greek. The Ptolemy family was in charge, put there by Alexander the Great. They were Macedonian Greek. Now, before you say anything, this is what Macedonian Greeks look like today. These are Macedonian Greek girls. All right, so this is as close to the ethnicity of what Cleopatra would have been. Look at those complexions. Look at their hair. They're Macedonian Greek. Look at the skin tone. They're white, but they're not quite white. All right, and now this is Gal Gadot. Tell me she does not look like she could be the same race as these people. I mean, look at that. Gal Gadot is Ashkenaz Jewish, so she's not like Caucasian white, all right? That is what Gal Gadot looks like. Look at her skin tone. She almost looks Hispanic sometimes, like light Spanish, right? Light-skinned Spanish. These are Macedonians. Macedonian girls look that. This is Gal Gadot. And I'm just going to leave that up here. You're telling me that she's not good to play Cleopatra because she's not African. Guess what, folks? Neither was Cleopatra. Cleopatra was not African, and she wasn't sub-Saharan African, what we call black. Sadly, she just wasn't. And a lot of people say, oh, she was, you know, she was the last pharaoh of Egypt. And even she wasn't Arab. First of all, the Arabs weren't in Egypt at the time of Cleopatra. The Arabs invaded much later, like later in like what you call the early Middle Ages, like the 8th, 9th century, 10th century. So we actually don't know what Cleopatra would have looked like, except we know she's Greek Macedonia. And Greek Macedonians look like this. Greek Macedonian. Tell me that's not perfect casting. And look, people are now crapping over her. I mean, you had another beautiful woman of her time played Cleopatra. It was a different time in Hollywood. But don't give me the whole, you know, this is, you know, I read the article, Variety says that Cleopatra was mixed race. I'm like, what? There's no evidence that she was mixed race. But anyway, keep going down. Hell, I don't hate Captain Marvel. I think they could focus more on her character in the sequel. They just need a better writing. I say F the Batman. Bring me the multiverse of madness and Thor and Love and Thunder. And you know those movies are going to deliver. Kasuka, my girl. Where have you been? Where have you been? Yeah, it's me all by myself. Caden's here, but I'm going to leave him. This is punishment for being late. It goes, you can't watch it for our movie. Watch out for our movie. Never watch The Godfather Part 2. The director's cut of Return of the King. They're truly not movie fans. What? Well, I love The Godfather Part 2. Do I have a Godfather? There's The Godfather Part 1 right there. Godfather Part 2 I love. Director's cut of Return of the King. Love it. But, you know, people like, look, Zack Snyder's film probably would have been close to 3 hours if released. But it wouldn't have been 4 hours. Maybe the extended edition would have been. Christopher Barker says, I didn't hate the Snyder cut, saying some of the slow-mo shots could have been cut down. And again, I think that's Zack just going full Zack. He's like, all right, it's on HBO. He could have made it 5 hours. I'm going to do every small little thing I want to do. Because when did they greenlight it? They announced it May 2020. It came out 10 months later. Chances are he was already working on it. He's like, you know what? Everything that I want to do that the studio wouldn't let me do, and HBO Max is like, here's $70 million, I am going to do it. I guarantee you not all that stuff was in slow motion. He just added it in. He's like, all right, I'm going to go full Zack Snyder. He's just going to go full Zack Snyder. And again, technically, if the film had come out, he probably wouldn't have gone that far. That one, Carlos says, what DC did would be like the MCU abandoning the Avengers after the mediocre reception of Iron Man. Exactly. Could you imagine if they said, okay, we have to recast Robert Downey Jr.? Oh, boy. Yeah, we're going to have to recast. And then, yeah, it would be the same thing because outside of Iron Man, RDJ is not that big of a box office attraction. As Iron Man, he is. He did 2 Sherlock Holmes movies that did well, and everything else he's been in, he's not done much. Hasn't been a big hit. People like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. So if you'll say, oh, people only like Henry Cavill as Superman, then why don't you keep making Superman movies with Henry Cavill? For those who are complaining about a 4-hour movie, they are not true movie fans if they have not seen The Godfather. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. I don't think the new mold of comic book movie fans have ever watched The Godfather Part 2 or The Godfather Part 1, or they even care about those movies and why they're great. Dude, I say go back to the biblical epics. Ben-Hur, 11 Oscars. That movie's 4 hours long. The original 10 Commandments, 3.5 hours. Movies like Quo Vadis and The Robe, they were easily 3 hours. Back then, when you went to the movies, it was like going to the theater. You'd go to the movies to watch a 3.5 hour movie. You'd wear a suit and tie and, top hat, and then you'd have intermission. The movie would break. You would go out, have some drinks, talk to people. Hey, what did you think of the film, though? So, I would say Charlton Heston as Miz is just splendid, Dolly. Then you have a break, you come back, and then you finish the movie. Okay. So, all right. Okay. But that was the movies then. People now, here's the curse of the Blockbuster. Here's the curse of the Blockbuster. People want fast, in-your-face electricity. Now, back in the day, I'm a 90s and early 2000s kid. I turned 13 in the year 2000. You didn't get great blockbusters every year. So, if I were to go through my life, 1994 was Disney. It was The Lion King, James Cameron's True Lies. That was kind of it. 95 was Batman Forever. 96, Independence Day. 97, Men in Black. 98, Armageddon. And you usually had one decent blockbuster a year. 98 was also Titanic. 97, 98. And you were lucky to get one. So let's take Independence Day. Fun, dumb, stupid action movie. Came out in 1996. Driven purely by charismatic performances from Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum. Now imagine in today's world, see reading here, and I left your comment up there because I'm addressing this. If you had Independence Day come out, 3 weeks later, here's another movie like Independence Day. A month later, here's another movie like Independence Day. And a month later, you're now getting 5 or 6 Independence Day type movies a year. And I think that's what's happening. So our attention span is short. We're not holding on to movies. And I hate to say this, No Way Home, I love it, but I think fans are going to move on. As soon as Morbius comes out or Doctor Strange, they're going to stop talking about No Way Home, and that's not a good thing. Back then, people had fewer blockbusters, so you had to absorb a movie. You would rent a movie and watch it again and again and again because it was a good movie. So for them, something like The Godfather is just agony. They're it's just people talking. It's just people talking. And and some of the best scenes are in that movie. Just people talking. Presence, dialogue, Marlon Brando sitting with the other heads and the other dons of the Five Family of New York. That's good stuff. We don't get that stuff. When we get it on film, even comic book films, we don't like it. Kasuka says, Angel was so good. Angel was better than Buffy. I'm saying it right now. Angel was better than Buffy. Angel is how they say it in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. Maybe Austin does. But Kasuka, CW actors don't necessarily need to be in theatrical movies. If anything, maybe The Arrow, just because I think he's so good in that role. If they wanted to multiverse it and say, hey, here's The Arrow. Yeah, he's right here. Will all the Arrowverse go to HBO Max now? Yep, that's what I'm reading. That's according to the article I have from the Hollywood Reporter. In fact, let me pull that up. I'll put that up. So basically, and I'll if I can find it, I've uploaded so much crap. Here we go. So essentially what I'm reading here, CW had a long-standing output deal with Netflix that helped series like Riverdale, another good show, and All-American reach broader audiences and ultimately grow on linear. That pact ended in 2019 on Warner Brothers TV, and CBS Studios shifted library deals to their respective streamers. So this is because of HBO Max and Paramount Plus. So this has been impacting the profit margins, and foreign sales have almost entirely ended. So yeah, essentially that's the issue. The CW was a mix of CBS and Warner Brothers, and now that CBS had CBS All Access, and now they have Paramount Plus, CBS All Access became Paramount Plus, Warner Brothers, HBO Max. I think that's what's going to happen. The Arrowverse, as awful as it has gotten, I would say still was a little bit more focused and driven than the films. The first two seasons of the Arrow, excellent. I think the first two seasons of the Arrow are utterly excellent. I thought was a Deathstroke, phenomenal villain, excellent. We'll see. Can we stop calling it woke politics? Well, I'm not against woke writing. I'm a Star Trek fan. It just needs to be good. It just needs to be good. Star Trek has always been woke. It just needs to be good. I'm not getting against wokeness. I just want it to be well done. And the message should not eclipse the story. Cavill in The Witcher is real sexy, not going to lie. And I'll admit, oh, yeah, he is. By the way, if you read the books, from what I understand, Geralt of Rivia is not supposed to be a good-looking guy. He's supposed to be gaunt, ugly, scars all over his face. You put a scar on Henry Cavill, and you're like, damn, that's a lucky scar. Gets to sit on that face all day. But yeah, no, he's great. And what the cool thing is about Henry Cavill, and this is not easy. A lot of times you'll have handsome actors that are too good looking that you can't take them serious. Henry Cavill is a very good looking actor, and you can take him serious. Like, you buy that he is a Witcher who has spent decades or however old he is fighting monsters, you know. And to me, if Elizabeth Taylor can play Cleopatra, Gal can too. That's how I feel about it. I mean, look, it was Cleopatra, by the way, folks, if you haven't seen it, go watch the original Cleopatra. You got Rex Harrison as Julius Caesar, the incredible Elizabeth Taylor, one of the most beautiful women of all time, playing Cleopatra, and the sets they made. Now you know it's going to be CGI'd. Now you know it's going to be like, you know, they're going to do everything CGI-ish. But back then, they built some phenomenal sets in Los Angeles. I mean, and Gal is always hot, but she has a commanding performance. So this is the thing. I always talk about this, and I felt like recent Marvel movies, they don't know, you know, how to do this. But here's the problem. It is one thing to be an actor. It is another thing to be an actor who is in command. Gal Gadot knows how to be the person in charge when she's in a scene. Even with Joss Whedon's dialogue in the Snyder Cut, she looks like the person in charge. One of my favorite scenes of the original Wonder Woman film is when she's talking down to the generals, and it works. It doesn't seem like she's like being a Karen, like, you guys aren't listening. Yeah. No, she has a commanding presence. That is not easy to do. That is not easy to do, to have a commanding presence. And I'm not just saying it because she's hot, but she knows how to have a commanding presence. So if you're going to make her Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, ain't nobody going to be better. There's no other actress. I'm not saying there aren't better actresses than her. I'm just saying they can't play that type of role. I mean, she commanded legions. She had Julius Caesar and Mark Antony eating out of her hand. So why would you not cast a talented actress, a commanding actress, and arguably the most beautiful woman in the world? Arguably the most beautiful woman in the world, who looks exactly the same for the last 10 years. Lewis Cox says, beautiful Greek girls and, whoa, beautiful Gal images. Yeah, and Gal looks Greek, because you have to understand, Macedonian Greeks, you have to understand that part of the world. They called it Levant. The Levant is sort of like that part of the Middle East that touches North Africa, that also touches Greek. They're white, but they're kind of brown, kind of like Gal Gadot, Mediterranean. The ancient Egyptians, the ones who built the pyramids, from whatever DNA that's been left behind, they were a mix of Persian and the Levant. So she looks like she's from the Levant because she's from Israel, which is in the Levant. So if you look, Caden, can you upload a map of like Israel, North Africa, and Greece? They're like right over there in the Mediterranean Sea. Those Mediterranean features. John Stamos, great example. He's white, but he almost looks like he could be Persian. He almost looks like he'd be almost Spanish, but he's just a white guy. He's Greek. They have that complexion, and she's got it. That one, Carlos says, my thing is even this. You don't even need to justify this. It's a film adaptation. I don't know why they mad. There we go. So there we go. See that red area? That's like, so, yeah, there we go. Perfect. So ignoring, like, start at Italy's boot, that area is called the Levant. Turkish people also look like that. Syrians look like that. Unfortunately, people can be ignorant. They're like, oh, Middle Easterns all look the same. We don't. You'll meet Lebanese people that look like Thai. You will meet Syrians that look like Thai. You'll meet Persians that look like Thai. Then you'll meet some that look more like I do, even though technically I'm not Arab or Persian, but they'll have my skin tone. But very beautiful people in and around the Mediterranean. You'll often find similarities between Greek food and Turkish food. Turkish coffee is very similar to Greek coffee. So Gal is Israeli. She's from that region ethnically, so she would be perfect to play a Greek Macedonian. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I think here's what I think happened, and this is what I think it is. It is a misunderstanding that because she was the queen of Egypt, which is in Africa, there was an assumption, and this is a correct assumption in some sense, that, oh, she was an African queen played by a white woman, i.e. Cleopatra, i.e. Elizabeth Taylor. She should have been African. And that has sort of been changed around time that, oh, Cleopatra was what you would call sub-Saharan African, black African. She wasn't. Hold on 1 second. I'm doing a live show. What is it? I can't stop the show. Sorry. But anyway, so, what the hell was my point? What was I saying? Sorry. My family's being a distraction right now. There was an assumption that, because she was an African queen, that means she must have been black. Well, I hate to break it to you, not everyone in Africa is black. Most of them are, but not all of them. You have different people within Africa. Somalis look different from Nigerians. North Africa was a mix of Arabs, Persians, blacks. There were the Nubians who invaded and took over Egypt for a while. So that's that. But Queen Cleopatra was from the Ptolemy line. Who was the Ptolemy family? Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great took over the entire freaking known world, almost all of it. And he removed the ancient Egyptians and he established the Ptolemy line. The Ptolemies were Greek Macedonian. And they inbred. They married each other, sometimes brother and sisters. Ugh. Very Game of Thrones. That was natural. It is very much possible that Cleopatra herself was a product of incest. So they kept their bloodlines pure. So Cleopatra was Greek Macedonian, not African. And she was Egyptian in the sense that she was born and raised. She lived in Egypt. Her parents lived in Egypt. Her grandparents lived in Egypt, going back several centuries. But she took on the Egyptian religion. She dressed like a pharaoh. But again, that area right there, almost all that green area is sand, Spain, or even parts of Spain, maybe France and Italy. Like you go to southern Italy, they are darker than I am. You go to northern Italy, they look like normal European whites because they're all in that area. And because of the Mediterranean Sea, there was a lot of mingling. Jack, take down the pics before I get wicked in here. Take down the pics. What are the maps? I'm sorry. Caden, did someone give a super chat or what was it? Yeah. Nick Carr. Do you think the DCU is getting a soft reboot? Yep. And they're going to do a soft reboot, and that's just what it is. It's just what it is. I'm not happy about that, but I'm also not going to be like, oh, I'm leaving the show. I'm leaving the show. I'm back. But here we go. Thanks for reading the new fantasy files. Hot under the collar. Yeah, I gotta open my shirt up a little bit. See, Poppy, aye. Caden is awesome. Yeah, but yeah. So Gal is gorgeous. Oh, very, very gorgeous. You dropped the microphone about Gal Gadot. Hey, Ty's here. Did you hear about what Zach's plans were for the Flash movie? No Keaton Batman, but Thomas Wayne. Oh yeah, that film's never going to happen. That's why the rumor was, at least, that is why Jeffrey Dean Morgan was cast as Thomas Wayne. Because you're like, you watch Batman vs. Superman, you're like, why the hell did they cast a fairly popular actor? Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's not an A-lister, but he's a pretty popular actor. He's a good actor. Why cast him for an opening montage? Why cast, two Walking Dead actors, essentially, for one scene? And the hope was, that if they do Flashpoint, Jeffrey Dean Morgan was going to play the Thomas Wayne Batman. It's not going to happen.
To speak on that.
There you go, Kate. I'm sorry. I saw you and I kept going on the roll.
Yeah.
Come on in, Kate.
To speak on the whole Thomas Wayne Batman thing, honestly, it would not have made sense in the DCEU for Thomas Wayne to be Flashpoint Batman. It still would be Bruce Wayne because Bruce Wayne is double Barry Allen's age in the DCEU.
Yeah.
And in the Flashpoint comic, they were 3 years apart.
Okay.
So it was like okay.
Yeah, you had mentioned that. I figured Zach was just going to do his own thing anyway.
Yeah. Because
Uh,
the whole thing about Flashpoint is that once you change, like it's a domino effect. Once you change one event, everything after the event changes. Not
mhm.
before, but everything after. So,
Okay.
like, I don't think Jeffrey D. Morgan would have really been that. It would have been Ben Affleck still. Like
Really?
if we're
Okay.
going the
All right.
Flashpoint route, it still would have been Ben Affleck. So this whole, like, and also I see people posting this image of both Thomas Wayne and Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne hugging each other in their suits.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in Flashpoint. That happens in the Reverse Flash and Flash comic with like the pin and the blood stain on the smile.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
like not even Flashpoint. That's like
Yeah.
Earth 2 and Earth 1.
Cade was here the whole time. I was just going on.
Like Earth 2
No, I am a millennial.
crossover.
I'm an older side of the millennials. Jack is. There's a lot of comments. This guy is ancient. Yeah. Cade, ban him. Ban him.
Rebirth, yeah, Rebirth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ty wants you guys to make sure you hit the like button. I tend to think that a lot of you aren't sitting on your computers watching. That a lot of you just have this on and then you're doing other stuff, which is cool. That's fine. But if you can't hit that like button, it helps the algorithms. So, Tyler Roberts, Movie Dog, send the love. Hey, Sam Williams. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind in the comments. Singular movie retention is almost non-existent. You know, one of the best movies I saw this year, Cop Shop, and I guarantee you, almost none of you heard of it. I saw it in theaters. Excellent movie. It's got Frank Grillo in it, and it's got who's the guy who played King Leonidas? Gerard Butler. Excellent movie. Very Tarantino-esque, very Edgar Wright-esque. Not perfect, but a great movie. Might have been one of the best movies I saw this year. And you simply won't hear about it because it gets drowned out by the bigger movies. Yeah, well, Chris, because they want you to stay subscribed to Disney Plus. They do the same thing. They want you to stay subscribed. Even Daredevil, Netflix, they put that on Blu-ray at some point. They want you to keep on subscribing. And I would say buy your Star Wars Blu-ray in 4K now, because I wouldn't be surprised if one day they're just like, oh, if you want to watch Star Wars, you have to pay $6.99 a month. Yeah, CW had the contract with Netflix. Whenever that's up, they're probably going to go to HBO Max. Is that
That's a bot.
Is that what's her name? Florence Pugh.
Oh my god.
That says macaroni and cheese and hot sauce. Arrow was a god tier at the beginning. Season 3 started to spiral, and then it never got better. And once his assistant became like she was a main character, but like became his main love interest, it was like, like it was just like whatever. Honestly, the Arrowverse used to be put on to bed, with Peacemaker being the first DC original show. I hope it does well. I'm kind of curious because you can tell clearly, you can tell that they thought the Suicide Squad was going to be a much bigger hit. Obviously, because of the dual release, there was always a fear, but you can tell they bet a lot on the Suicide Squad being really big, and it didn't even have the impact as much as the first film. Think about that. So they're kind of in a bind right now, because I don't really hear people outside of the DC fans saying like, dude, I can't wait for Peacemaker. Everyone's like, oh, whatever. And it still could be a very good show, but I don't think it may not end up being the hit everyone thinks it's going to be. It may not be The Boys or Invincible or, the new Umbrella Academy, that one show or Cobra Kai that takes everyone by storm, but we can hope. Patrick says, CW is Matt, and I watch CW on Watch TV, Netwin, Bad, Tayop. Okay. I'm not saying Henry is sexy, it's just weird to me, but I will say it looks badass, and I want to grow up my hair like Geralt. Yeah, but he's got that face. He's a very good, handsome actor. DC is such a, what is weird, Kasuka, and this is what kind of blows my mind. They have essentially been in the same spot since 2017. Since 2017, they're still like, let's see what works. And like they keep like they're trying to light a fire and they keep throwing matches at it. Did that work? No? Let's see what sticks to the wall. Huh? Oh, Aquaman's a hit. Great. So let's just keep moving forward. Nope, we gotta still rethink this. We got too many cooks in the kitchen, and they don't know how to cook. It's like one guy knows how to make decent Chinese, The other guy knows how to make decent French. The other guy knows how to make decent Italian. The one guy knows how to make Greek, and they're all being asked to make one dish, and none of them can agree. So they put everything in one big pot, and they're like, "Yeah, here's a Greek, French, Chinese, Italian dish that we just made up." And 2016, 2017 fans are like, "Get your crap together," and they're still like, "Let's try the same thing. Let's keep trying it." I don't know. Oh, Caden's here. Caden's here. Just can't hear him. Yeah, it's a solo Jack day. Yeah, become a member if you're interested for as low as $2.99 a month. Hey, Nick, love you, man. Jack is like, "This is my show." Now, this is what originally Jack was supposed to be me, but I got to have a co-host, and then Caden jumped up. But I know I'm a little bit. Oh, wow. I'm really.
He has to have the drink and the thing. I can't do the Austin thing. I'm sorry. I tried.
Nick sent a member milestone chat. Do you know how to do that? How to get a member milestone chat?
Oh, you know what?
Was that this one?
No, it's another one. I think.
You got to pull it up? All right, Nick, we're going to pull that up. Thank you, Nick. Nick says to Tyler, "This channel has given me something to look forward to each week, whether it's Jiving with Jack or anything you do. I just love hearing love you. I appreciate that, my friend." You're like 50 minutes behind. Says usually, I have Austin, what's his name, helping me. I'm still like 9 minutes behind. Holy crap, there's a lot going on here. Jack smells. I don't smell, man. I shower twice a day. Here we go. Member for 5 months, Nick Carr. Thank you, Mick. Thank you. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to skip to the end, so if I missed anything important that you guys wanted me to read, just send it again. Oh, Benson's here. It had a massive impact on HBO Max. This was a loss leader for streaming. Yeah. Since they left the Snyderverse, their movies are a success. The Batman will smash through $1 billion. See, here's the thing. We're all upset about Affleck. I still want to see Affleck, but once the Batman comes out, there's very little chance that this is going to be a bad movie. I just don't see it being a bad movie. It might underwhelm. Like, people might be like, it could have been better, but I don't think it'll be a bad movie. I just don't see that happening. Props to Matt Reeves. He didn't make it like a Marvel movie. He just didn't crank it out. He spent a lot of time figuring the script out, the look out, he's a director's director. He took his time to make this movie. And this movie was supposed to come out last November. So I think, you know what? Once the Batman comes out, I think it might help alleviate some of the loss of the Snyderverse. It might be like, all right, maybe Warner Brothers is doing some things right. Maybe Warner Brothers has got some things right. Age 26. So, Chris, let me ask you this. So we've been talking to fans, and I don't get upset with the fans who want to boycott or the ones who want to keep watching. I would just say, come March the 3rd or whatever, the Batman comes out. Reviews are going to be good. And then the fans are like, "Holy crap, this is amazing." Are you actually not going to watch it? And I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, are you going to be strong? But I'm not going to go see it. Because there were some people who I said who were like, "I'm not going to see Spider-Man No Way Home," and they didn't because they hate Marvel. And I'm just curious because that could be a phenomenal movie, and then Peacemaker could be really good. Are you actually going to avoid all of it altogether? The Batman is fire. Batman looks amazing. And by the way, I have not been the biggest fan of Pattinson's Batman so far. He looks like Robert Pattinson in a cosplay costume. Vengeance. I don't know. But I think he will kill it. I just don't see it yet. I think I will say think before you boycott. Yeah, and look, if the Batman fails, let's say the Batman's it's not going to fail. Let's say the boycott works. And the Batman's actually a phenomenal film. Warner Brothers like, "Oh no, people didn't like it. Let's reboot it. Quick, get me Ashton Kutcher. He'll make a great Batman. The kids like him. Did they like him in 2004? So you're not going to see it. Okay, I appreciate it. So, is it just for, a while? Or, do you ever plan to come back? Or are you waiting for the restore of the Snyderverse? Because, they can still do branch timelines. I'd like to see that. I'm really enjoying watching you guys really make movie talk on YouTube fun again. Love you guys. Keep going. Caden representing the GOAT as his profile picture. So, Caden, tell us which Ghostface is that? Is that Scream 1?
Scream 4.
Oh, that's Scream 4.
Yeah.
Who's in Scream 4? We don't know. That's coming out soon. Are you excited about
Scream
that?
Scream 5 is the one that's coming out. Scream 4 is the one with her cousin.
Yeah.
That Kieran and Cole.
I sometimes forget about Scream 4 just because I saw it once and I just never bought it and I just never watched it again.
Yeah.
All the trilogies on DVD and Blu-ray never had the fourth film.
Yeah. It's one of those things that are just It's the only good, like, clean photo of Ghostface because all the other ones are kind of grainy. Because of course it's like,
yeah.
But look who's here.
Oh.
If he wants to. Well,
look who
look
it
who's
is.
50 minutes.
Don't bring him here
late.
because he looks like a mess right now.
He looks like a mess.
I don't know. Oh wait, he can't bring himself in. You have to bring him in.
Yeah.
Should we let him bring him in? Let's put him at the bottom now since he's late.
Yeah. I'm up. Where the hell am I? What happened?
Kids.
The world
by the way,
ended,
we're gonna come out with a shirt soon. It's gonna be a cartoon of Austin with a baseball bat and says Austin swings both ways.
Done. Yeah, that's right. What's up, everybody? I'm awake. Yeah. I'm here. You don't want to see my face right now. It's not pretty.
Hold on. You know what? Since we can't see his face, what can we do?
Caden, don't you have the picture? Put my face as your profile or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Give the people what they want.
This is kind of what Austin looks like.
Very much so. But that times 10. But sorry, people. I am taken. Shout out, Bradley. Love you, babe. Right. Move on.
Unfortunately, if you guys want to know the truth, this is what Austin was doing.
I just want to see some tongue. I just want to see some. I'll pay for it. Just give me some tongue.
Get the tongue in.
Happy birthday to you.
So that's what was happening last night.
Oh my god.
I can neither confirm nor deny, but I do agree with Katsuka, who says Jack always picking on Austin. You know what? Katsuka, you're right, and I'm taking it.
I'm not picking on. I'm saying you look like a handsome actor from Cobra Kai.
To court, Katsuka, and let me tell you something. It's going to be something you don't want to miss. We are signing up for the new Judge Steve Harvey show. We're
going to god.
Court. Steve Harvey will be judging me and Jack's case.
Yeah. That's what we got to do again. Remember Jivin Judge Jack? We did that one time.
I think that's got to happen. I think that'll definitely.
We're gonna have to do Judge Jivin Jack. I got to get my my prosecutor's wig on or whatever. Judge Jivin Jack.
That'll definitely.
Ooh, look at Kasuka using the big words. Let us see your visage, not your face, but your visage.
I'll be honest. What the hell does that mean? First of all, don't cuss at me like that this early in the morning. Second of all, who the hell
I think visage is that movie that Caden's talking about with the thing with the teeth. You know.
The movie Teeth.
Yeah.
I know.
Visage is another. It's a fancy word for face.
I know all about that movie.
Yeah. But maybe we should do a watch party with that because now I'm kind of curious.
Oh my god!
But I don't know. Now you got that, and there's another one that I don't want to see, but I've been kind of curious to see. Human Centipede. Like, I'm kind of curious. Like, was that at least entertaining?
I've never seen the Human Centipede. I have no desire.
Oh my god! Human Centipede. If you don't want to, like, I watched it when I was very young, so that's another thing. Like, I watched it probably like when I was 12 or 13. So
wow.
So
you saw it last year.
What?
You said you saw it when you were 12 or 13, so I said you saw it last year.
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard something really different. Okay.
Okay. But
what did you guys hear?
I heard what you said correctly.
Okay.
So that's what I was saying. What did you say? Like, but
okay. No, I thought I made a joke because you're young. And I'm like, so you saw it last year. We can't reveal Caden's age because of labor laws.
Yes.
So age myself up.
Yeah. So Caden is 35. He's older than I am.
Correct.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that is correct. Matt Jarbo is in the chat.
Hey guys, welcome Matt Jarbo.
Matt Jarbo.
Matt Jarbo.
Matt Jarbo.
It's great honor to have you here. If you enjoy taking a dump in a woman's mouth,
oh god.
What?
Okay.
Jarbo, this is not the kind of content we have on my show.
No, because literally a dude is attached to
Human Centipede?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's this crazy dude who basically kidnaps people and stitches them together, face to butt.
Oh, so when they made fun
and they're
of that
alive, they're alive. They're not dead. They're alive when he does it.
Wait, so they made fun of that in South Park. Oh my god! If I can find the clip, I thought that was something South Park was making fun of. I didn't realize that's actually something from the actual
it's
movie.
Crazy.
Oh my god! Oh
It's
my god. Okay,
so
now I gotta share
disturbing
this. I
and
thought this
just-
was something they
oh
just
my God.
made up in like South Park, because South Park is known for having kind of gross humor.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is made up, but this is actually, I'm gonna share this from South Park. Hopefully we won't get taken down. Guys, we got taken down. It's been nice knowing you, because I literally thought this was something that South Park was just like, but like, so basically this happens. This is a human Sentai pad.
Oh my God.
Now, come on. No, I will not eat if they are forced to eat on my poo. Perhaps
Yeah.
it's a bean and cheese burrito from Paco's.
Oh no.
I tried to resist, but burrito is a too delicious.
Oh, delicious.
Oh no. Feel sick.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop it right there because
Yeah.
but if you ever want to die laughing,
The
watch them record this, and it's actually Matt Stone doing the Japanese accent.
Oh my God. My face is exactly.
And then they had an
my
episode
face.
called Asian Diversity Day, where there's a Japanese guy and the Asian guy together, and it's Matt Stone. Or no, sorry, Trey Parker. Sorry, doing both voices back and forth. Like, did you know China and Japan are different countries? Oh, really? And I'm not doing the accents because I am not getting in trouble. But you
No.
actually see him doing the voices.
Dear God.
It is so. But yeah. Jarbo Benson says hi. Patrick says, I watched 10 Things Hate You film. 10 Things I Hate About You. If you had told me that guy was going to play the Joker and be better than Nicholson, I would never imagine that. That was one of Heath Ledger's bigger movies. Down in Marcy's upset. Oh no, that's the plot of the movie. I thought the whole crapping into the mouths and everything, like I thought that was something South Park made up making fun of. I didn't realize that happens.
We're not watching the Human Centipede trailer.
No.
Because
No.
No. You guys will be disturbed, and that will probably be.
Yeah, so basically,
you guys will
Kasuka,
see.
the plot of the episode is that everyone in the world reads the user agreement for Apple except for Kyle. And so Kyle doesn't read, he just hits agree, and basically volunteers himself to be part of the new iPad, the Human Sentai pad. So, like, you buy it's like 3 people attached like the centipede, and they put the, like, interface on the face. It's such a stupid episode, and Steve Jobs is like, oh. And then Butters is like, you guys don't read the user agreement?
Right.
So, yeah, that was supposed to be Steve Jobs. But, yeah. So, Austin, what time did you go to sleep today?
9 a.m. Well, you and I had a talk last night and stuff, and that went on for a little bit, and then
How much longer were you on?
Oh, probably about 2.5 more hours.
Oh my God! I felt so bad. I had to get off, but
yeah, no, but it was good. It was good, and then I was just, it was just really weird. I kind of slept all day yesterday, and so I was wide awake and
for him
did some other stuff.
Hold on one second, guys. My father doesn't know tact.
Amen. God bless America. But no, so I was up pretty late or pretty early, and then I crashed around 9, and I totally didn't oversleep. I totally here on time, as always, because you know me, I never am late. But no, man, it was it's
one of my favorite moments was Bradley referred to Caden very harshly as the cure for insomnia. And then Caden's just like, insomnia is bad for you, like very matter of fact.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
That's a great response.
This is true. This is true. If you guys ever need to, in fact, Caden just signed a deal with Calm, the Calm app. He'll be on the new Calm app.
I'll be taking over.
We have a shirt coming out. We're working on a shirt. Ladies in need, call Caden Reed.
Oh yeah, and don't forget our new term, the seducer producer, Caden Reed.
I want to do. I don't know if Caden will ever show his face, but I'd like to have like a Caden Reed shirt, and it's like that meme of like Leonardo DiCaprio going like this, but with like Caden's face on it, or like we just leave the head empty and it says not pictured.
Great Gatsby, the cheers.
Yeah, where he's got the thing, but then we remove the head and it just says not pictured.
Oh my God!
This Caden doesn't like to show his face.
I mean, I can have my face on that thing.
Yeah.
On that shirt.
Diamond says, I need Gal to be on the Clay map. I would pay for that.
On the Claim
the
app.
Calm app. The Calm app.
It's like the Claim app. What's the
You know
Claim
what?
app? Is
I
it like
have
where you
friends
claim
that
celebrities?
really hate her.
Like,
They genuinely hate Gal Gadot and they hate her accent.
what?
They hate Gal Gadot. They think she's a terrible actress, and they hate her accent. It took me a while to figure out why, but once I figured it out, I'm like, oh, now I get it. So, I have some friends, more like acquaintances, huge Marxists. Like, they love Karl Marx, into that whole very far left type stuff.
Dear God.
They don't like Gal.
Friends.
They never say this. I got crazy. I got right-wing hardcore on one side. I have left-wing socialists on one side. And I'm just like the middle one. But they don't like Gal. They never said this, but I figured it out because she's from Israel and is very much in support of their government, and they're very pro-Palestine. Because even after he saw the Snyder Cut, he's like, oh my God, Gal Gadot has the worst accent. I can't understand a word she's saying. They should have cast someone else. I'm like, really? He's like, dude, all of our friends, we hate it. We hate her. We hate her narrating the. Remember when she tells the story of the first battle with Darkseid, and they were like complaining about her, and then like, oh yeah, she was part of the IDF. You know that? I'm like, oh okay, now it clicked with me. You don't like her because she's Israeli. Boo hoo. But like, yeah, there are those people out there. Her accent is sexy. Ooh. Benson, did you get a visit from Leonardo? Benson says, how about Austin Lean when only a cheeky ball tickle will do for a t-shirt? Hey, we're taking ideas.
Oh, dear God.
Do you have any friends excited about Trump's return? Yeah, I have a lot. Philly is weird. You will find hardcore socialist left-wing Bernie Sanders supporters, and like in the same bar, you will find like people who are Trump supporters. Like, it's weird. Like, in the city. And I'm not talking about like MAGA hat wearing, like, you need to go back to where you came from, boy. Not those types. Just like regular people, like like yeah. I know a lot of people who are big Trump supporters. I think 10 things I hate about you film. I love it. Okay, Patrick, Heath Ledger. I think her accent's she's got that. So if you notice, Gal Gadot's accent is very similar to Vanessa's accent in Daredevil. Who's Vanessa? The girl that Kingpin is in love with, the one who runs the art gallery, she is also Israeli. She has that type of accent too, and it's a very gorgeous accent. Because the interesting thing about Israeli
plays Vanessa Fisk.
Yeah, she's Ayelet. She also plays Kal-El's mom in Man of Steel.
Yeah,
it's like his name is Cal. Again, gorgeous woman, Ashkahani Jews. Israeli people are interesting because some Israeli people have been there for the last 2,000 years under persecution, so they look like me. Then you have the Jewish people who returned after the Holocaust, and where Jewish people have been in Europe for like 2,000 years. So they all came and mixed together. They have like a beautiful race of people. They are just gorgeous.
Is it Ayelet Zur?
Ayelet Zur, yeah. So her and Gal are both the same. It's like, I don't know if to use the word tribe or like a sect of Judaism called Ashkahani, and they're a mix of like Eastern European and like Persian or something like that. I have to look it up.
It's like the mix area. Like
that is why Gal Gadot and Ayelet Zur kind of have like a darker tone to them. Like someone said to me, Gal Gadot is white. I'm like, she is not white. Miley Cyrus is white. Oh, Kim Kardashian. She's Armenian. You see this. Kim Kardashian looks like more she could be like related to Gal than like Miley. Like you look at Miley Cyrus, she is clearly a
Miley Cyrus can be their like third cousin.
Yeah. And then so I like people that you consider a Gal Gadot a good person of color. I'm like, yeah, she's not Caucasian like European white. That's why she's perfect for Cleopatra. They had to hide the red button from Biden. Oh crap. We're not getting apologized. Benson, you're a Trump guy. Okay. All right. I would not have guessed that. Gal and Kim, giggity. All right. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about So, gentlemen, Austin, Caden, what is the most attractive thing you could do to get an attractive woman as a male?
Be Pete Davidson.
Be Pete Davidson. Because you can't say it's because he's rich. Because both these women are richer than he.
Well, I mean, Miley Cyrus is his best friend forever.
Is his best friend. So apparently this is what happened. There was a New Year's Eve party, and they hosted it together. And apparently she was flirting with him on stage, which happens at these things. And
Miley does that too.
Miley's like that. She's very flirtatious.
Yeah.
Kim unadded Miley. Miley. Stop following her. But you know what? I gotta say, Pete Davidson, man. The joke is that he must be hung like a horse. Because let's go through the list: Ariana Grande, Kate Beckinsale, Kim Kardashian. I'm curious how close him and Miley are. This guy is going through, like, you know what I mean? Like some of the most beautiful women in Hollywood. And, so she tweeted out a photo, Kim did, on vacation with Pete Davidson. And so this is them. They're on vacation. There's Pete. Ladies, how many ladies do we have in the chat? Besides, we have Kasuka. And that's it. We need to have more chicks in our chat. But like, he's got to have something. He's got to be really funny. I mean, must have a magnetic person. I'm not trying to be funny, but like, he's not a traditionally handsome person. But
Come on, guys. Let's just be honest. He's got a massive schlong.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Hung like a horse. He's got a massive schlong. Is that Flavor Flav? I am not sure.
Yep.
Hanging out with them?
That is Flavor Flav.
Oh man, he is. I haven't seen him in so many years. Flavor Flav. You guys ever listen to Public Enemy not back in the day? You guys are too young. But you guys ever listen to Public Enemy?
Wait. Breaking news. We got breaking news. Hold on. Whatever transition to the. So we all know the Golden Globes have been having some weird stuff going on over there. They, their nominee announcement thing has no celebrity to host it. That's, that was sent out to agents like, we don't have a celebrity to host it. So
special announcement, breaking news, Jack and I will be hosting this year's Golden Globes.
Well,
we've gladly taken the part.
Oh my God. But so basically today, just like 50 seconds ago, the 2022 Golden Globe Awards will not be live streamed or anything. It'll be a private event, and the people who have won the Golden Globes will be announced via press. So yeah, after the ceremony. So it'll be a private ceremony. It will not be live streamed on ABC, NBC, whatever.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, that doesn't sound like the most pretentious thing in Hollywood, does it? What? Okay, let's just be honest, people. Who in the actual literal F gives two cracks about a press announcement saying so-and-so won an award?
Right.
This is just, at this point, it's
Austin, can I tell you something? Do you know why the Golden Globes have had great ratings in the last 10 years?
Yeah, because people love to see the hosts rip into Hollywood.
Exactly.
Like Ricky Gervais.
Only when Ricky Gervais hosts, because he's hosted like a couple times.
And you know what? Even Tina and Amy learned that if they don't do that, they don't get that good rating. So they started to be that way as well. So look, I mean, here's the thing. It's kind of like, at this point, cancel the effing ceremony. Yeah. Just cancel it. Because nobody who's not in Hollywood cares. Nobody wants to hear a press release.
What's getting the Oscar buzz right now? Nightmare Alley. I still have to
Nightmare Alley. Don't Look Up. Apparently, No Way Home. King Richard.
All four Marvel movies. Basically.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
No Way Home, I would say okay, but really,
there's no way. There's no way. Could you imagine if Black Widow gets nominated for Best Picture?
Okay, if they're gonna nominate that crap, I know this can't happen because of copyright laws. Throw the freaking Snyder cut in there. Don't let it win anything, but go ahead, throw that in there. I know because they're considering a director's cut. It's a whole new movie. I would have thrown that in there too.
I mean, look, it is just.
It has to be the studio that puts in the for you consideration. So it's the studio's fault to not.
Yeah, Warner Brothers doesn't even want an Oscar for best sound editing or some crap like that.
Yeah,
they got one for Suicide Squad, dude. Why the hell did they need one for Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Elizabeth Olsen has range. Yes, she does. She does. I just learned something interesting. The Olsen twins are not fraternal twins.
No.
Meaning, so fraternal twins are twins that are identical, I think. They look the same. They're not identical twins. They just look similar. And it worked when they were small. Because some kids are like that. Like there are two brothers who come to Quizzo. They're not twins. They're just brothers, but they look exactly the same. But they're not twins. Right. They just look similar. But now if you look at Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, you can tell they're two different people. But they're not identical twins. I just brought that up because I used to watch a lot of Full House. By the way, you know why they hired twins for Full House?
They what?
Do you know why they hired twins for Full House?
In case one got sick. I don't know why.
Child labor laws.
Oh my
you
God.
Can't have a child working. You can only have them working X amount of hours a day.
Right.
So a lot of times in these shows, they will hire twins so that one.
We'll switch them out. We'll bring the other one in.
Exactly. So they don't violate child labor laws, which sucks because I have a TV show that I'm writing. I've been writing for many years, and I have 2 child characters in there, and they're like central, not the main characters, but they're like the secondary main characters. What happens when I have to film that? They're gonna have to cast an 18-year-old to play a 5-year-old.
Yep.
No. I'm not be good down with that.
I will be playing Little Timmy.
Ted and Ed, that's their name. Little Ted and Little Ed.
We'll be playing Ted and Ed, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's announced that me and Austin, Caden Reed and Austin will play Ted and Ed.
First of all, they're 2 little white girls from England. That's the story.
Hey, we can play. We can play those roles. I can be.
Actually, they're so dear to me, these characters I've written. So my eventual goal, I have a very large basement. We tore out the garage 20 years ago, made it one big room. I'm going to remodel the entire basement and then move this downstairs to the basement. And I'm going to call it Ted and Ed Studios. Name it after my 2 darling characters.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
Pete Davidson is in the Suicide Squad. I loved it when he died. I find him a little bit obnoxious. It's not because he gets. I'm not jealous that he gets good tail. That's not what I'm jealous of. I admire that. I'm just saying there's something about him. I find
no, Jack. We all know you're jealous, and you're jealous of. You're also jealous of Kim Kardashian as well. That you're not with Pete Davidson, and you're jealous of Pete that you're not with Kim. So it's all right.
Yeah,
all right.
Maybe I am, but no, I admire that because guys, here it's easy to be a guy. This is what they don't tell you. When it comes to dating, it's easy to be a guy because if you have a charming personality, and if you don't, you can develop one. Take what you have and develop it. You can become attractive to women. With girls, it's almost all visual, at least when it comes from a guy's perspective. Like, you can be a charming woman, but guys are like, oh, she's pretty, she's good looking. We're very physically geared. We're looking at the aesthetics. So, but Kate Beckinsale is absolutely, she's just gorgeous. It's a shame she hasn't had a bigger career because I thought she was really a really talented actress, Kate Beckinsale. I think Austin went back to sleep.
No, I'm still here.
Austin's like,
wow.
But okay, would you agree with that though, Austin? Like, it's easy for a guy to get a girl out of his league if he's got the right personality, charm, wits. Girls.
I have not experienced that, but well, sure.
All right. I have.
Yeah, right.
No, but girls with them, I'm talking about straight interactions, but I've been in situations where you're talking to a girl, she's not impressed, but you just say the right thing. You just say the right thing, whether you're something funny, something hilarious, a compliment, and then they're like, okay, he's interesting, and it works that way. It doesn't work the other way around. Guys aren't looking for interesting girls per se. They're not like, oh, is she interesting? That's not the number. They want her to be interesting, don't get me wrong, but if they see a wholesome, interesting girl and a very attractive girl, that looks like this, who do you think they're going to want to talk to first? I'm just going to say. And gals got charm. So here's the thing about Gal Gadot. She's attractive, very charming. Very charming. And that's a natural thing. The Rock has charm. The Rock has a natural charm. You get the word charisma out of that. You're attracted to him even if you're straight. You want to see him on screen saying stuff. Pokemon has some toxic fans. I'm not a Pokemon. So I never got into Pokemon. I'll be like, girl, let me show you my stamp collection. But you know what? If a girl likes you, this is how you know if a girl likes you. If you're into something stupid and she will try to get into it, Like in college, the girl I dated, like she was cool. She was like president of her school, like president of the student council. Like really, she was like top tier. I was out of her league, but I was just charming. I laid it on. I was a lot more brave when I was young. All of a sudden, when she started like her brother, right that time we were all into Call of Duty. She started playing Call of Duty to talk to me. She was like, "Oh yeah, so that Call of Duty is really cool." I'm like, "Oh, you play?" Like, "Yeah, I just started playing it." Like then like okay, you've got her. Like she is doing things she would never do. She was not a gamer. I've never dated a nerdy girl, but she wasn't. But she started playing Call of Duty to get closer to me. She's like, "Okay, he plays Call of Duty. I'll play Call of Duty." Like it's just one of the things. You guys are oddly silent right now. Let's talk about the Snyderverse again. But yeah, so you know what, the chat is actually pretty crazy today, but Pete knows a secret we don't. You know what? I think Pete's just pure confidence. He's just pure confidence.
And ladies love confidence.
They love confidence, yeah.
And they love confidence.
They like a funny man.
They also like confidence down there.
Yeah, he's got confidence down there, yeah. Keith Davidson, you gotta use both hands.
Oh my god.
What, to make a phone call? This is you gotta use both hands.
To drink.
If anyone's curious, I'm drinking a light beer. It's a Dos Equis Amber. Dos Equis Amber. Excellent taste. I don't like heavy beers. I don't like IPAs. I like it smooth. I like Jungling. I like a German beer called Warsteiner. That's how you know I've been working at a German club too long. It's spelled Warsteiner, but I've been working there doing trivia. It's called Warsteiner. I'm like, all right, yeah. So give me
someone help Jack get away from the Germans.
Yeah, the Germans. All of a sudden, I'd be like, okay, for everyone to know, everyone watching
German,
today, if you're not vaccinated, you cannot be part of the show. Show me your papers. Show me your vaccine card. If you're not vaccinated,
show me your wrists. Show me your arms that you got it.
And I start cursing in German.
Right.
Agency sexy. Dirty joke 101. Shende. All fine women fine women. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they love that. And you know what? In high school, this would have got me laughed at. Now it's different. Nerd culture's in. Like I said, if you're confident, like if I'm apologetic, I'm like, oh yeah. So like if let's say I bring a girl here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really into comic books and stuff, She'd
be like,
yeah. Then all of a sudden I'm coming, but she comes and she's like, oh cool, you have a lot of stuff on your wall. I'm like, yeah, this is my lifeblood. I love this shit. Like you got to be confident about it. And she's like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, I like Led Zeppelin. He's a great guy. That's how you know when a girl pretends to like a band like Judas. One time I told a girl, I'm like, she's like, so I'm like, she like, what do you listen to? I'm like, I'm a huge Judas Priest fan. She's like, oh yeah, I love Christian rock too. I'm like, so for all of you who don't know, Judas Priest is not a Christian rock band.
No,
it's pretending to know. I gotta go with Snyderverse.
Judas, they're like, okay, Judas is a Bible character, and it's a band. Christian rock. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's real fast. It's like,
don't correct the girl. Never make a girl feel small. Don't be like, oh, you're wrong.
You're wrong. It's that Christian rock.
I've seen nerds do that. An attractive girl talks to a nerd and she gets something wrong. You're like, oh yeah, I love Marvel. Batman is so cool. And you're like, actually, Batman is DC. Stop. You have literally just, that's it. You're done. You're out. You just blew it.
Oh, more breaking news.
Small. Yeah, I'm a huge Judas Priest fan. Where's my guitar? I can play some Judas Priest, but we'd get copyright stricken. Yeah, go ahead.
Wes Anderson to direct adaptation of Roald Dahl's wonderful story of Henry Sugar, starring Benedict Cumberbatch for Netflix, and filming starts soon in London. So Wes Anderson, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Netflix, and Roald Dahl.
I had never heard of that Roald Dahl novel. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Me neither.
I have James and Giant Thieves, Matilda, BFG, The Twits, but I've never heard of that one.
I'm looking it up right now. Wonderful Life.
Yes, Benson. Yes.
It's a short story. It's a part of a collection of 6 short stories.
So, Chris,
so it's an older. It's for older audiences.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
okay.
Henry Sugar, an independently wealthy man who enjoys gambling, finds and reads doctor's reports on a strange patient the doctor met while stationed at a hospital in India. This patient, who called himself the man who sees without using his eyes, had ability to see even after the doctor had medically sealed the man's eyes and shut and bandaged his head. The man was part of the circus act and used his abilities to make money. When interviewed in more detail by curious doctors, he gave an account which they wrote up. The man claimed he had been interested in magic all his life and managed to study with Yogi Hadora in India, which he develops the ability to see through objects such as paper or playing cards. He can see around solid objects such as wooden door if he allowed a finger or hand on it. So yeah,
Interesting. That's just Roald Dahl is a bit off. Like you might even say he's like Roald Dahl might have been for books what Tim Burton is for film, like a little bit off.
Yeah,
but interesting.
Very interesting.
The Witches. You read The Witches? No, sorry. Roald Dahl. At least when I was growing up as a kid, like that was your introduction to books without pictures. Roald Dahl, Beverly Cleary, and R.L. Stein,
and C.S.
Lewis. Yeah, C.S. Lewis. I like him. It's like that Catholic stuff sneaking in there. So I've noticed, Chris. And Chris, maybe you can get some advice. And Austin, tell me if you get this, and Kate, if you get this. Nerdy girls, even the hot ones, zero vibe with me. They're not into me at all, and I'm not really into them either. I don't know what that is. I don't know if I'm nerdy enough because out of like the four of us, I'm probably like the least nerdiest. Like I'm a nerd, don't get me wrong, dork, but like
right.
I'm probably the least. Like Ty was like, you got to wear a pop culture corner shirt. I'm like, man, I'm wearing my fleece. I wear my fleece. I wear my A&F. You know what? That's probably what it is. I wear A&F. A lot of A&F.
I don't know what it is.
You know what A&F is? Do you guys have?
No, I don't. I was saying I don't know what the deal is with you and nerdy girls.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll see them with like some really unattractive nerdy guys. I'm like, yeah, God bless you. That's fine,
right.
But like, I don't know. Kasuga, you're a nerdy girl. Would you be dating me like Japanese girls?
Oh my god.
But okay, interesting face. You mentioned Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch, when he started getting famous, you would always hear women say, "Ooh, he's weird looking." He's weird looking. Now that he's a bigger star, I will hear a lot of women say he is so handsome. He is so attractive. He is so sexy. It's all about personality. Now that they're used to him and like they see him as Doctor Strange and they see him as Sherlock Holmes, they're, into that.
I mean,
I'm waiting for Kasuga to type, me so horny. Me love you.
Oh my god.
I know Kasuga's a guy, but I just picture like, one of those anime girls, like, on her like little iPad on a train back from school from Tokyo. Oh my god. When will it be 6 o'clock? Ooh.
What time is it?
Austin, can you tell I'm a little bit off today?
Me love you long time.
Love you long. If only you knew, Jack. Me love you long time. What was that rap song?
Long
like
time,
they put that in there like
me
so horny. Me love you long time. Me love you long. I can't play it.
I don't know what song it is, but I don't know where it's from, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's a rap song. Like me love you long
Wes
time.
Anderson did do Fantastic Mr. Fox, which was really good. Really good.
All right, Kasuga, I am going to upset you.
Chicka, wow, wow.
I'm going to upset you. Please do not get offended, but I had to show this just because I'm doing the accent. So there's an episode of South Park where they have Diversity Day, where they're explaining the different Asian cultures. There's Japanese and Chinese. Watch the behind the scenes of how they filmed that. I got too much beer. No, I got... Austin's not even here. I thought Austin was purposely jipping us today because... Ooh, you're pre-offended. All right, well, trigger warning.
Did you guys hear about...
Hey, Mr. Nakayama, you know that China and Japan are actually a different country? Well, really? That's right. And if you look at a map, you see China and Japan separated by body of water.
Right, here we go.
Oh.
This place, what it is as an absurd stereotype, Okay, kids, today we have a special assembly, okay, we're going to learn about the diversity of Asian people. Okay, please welcome Mr. Liu Kim and Mr. Junichi Nakayama.
你好嘛 South Park Elementary! Konnichiwa! How are y'all feeling? Yeah, boy!
Oh my god.
Did you know that China and Japan are actually a different countries? Oh, really?
Trey's going to push it. He's going to push it over the top. And if you pull back visually or pull back on your assignment, he won't get what he wants. Dude, you work at South Park. You better figure out what's funny about that and be able to execute it.
Gail, how do you know you're not just feeding a stereotype?
What?
How do you know you're not just feeding a stereotype?
We do. I'd be hypocritical to say, well, we do, and it's like, there's, especially with that guy, there's been, and it's like, but we're never just doing that.
So, true story about South Park. In South Park, they have a place called the City Walk. And the Chinese guy's like, hello, shitty walk. Yeah, I know. But what a way to go out, huh? That's an actual place in South Park City. Did it get taken down?
Place. No.
Okay. There's an actual place when they lived there called South Park City, and there's a place called City Walk. And when they called it, there's a place to be like, hello, Shitty Walk, can I help you? And the food was called shitty beef, shitty chicken. And,
oh my god.
Jarber, your buddy Vito did a hilarious Chinese voice on your show. See, now, I'll put it to you this way. Can that go too far? Yeah, and I got props to Trey Parker for saying, yeah, we are pushing a stereotype. But, like, that's South Park. That is, did you guys see Dave Chappelle do that? Not as the last special, but the one before that. These guys are like, we're like out. Dave Chappelle did one. Like, his wife is Asian. He talked about, like, what if I had, like, the mind of a Chinese person in a black body? And he's like, I'm Chinese.
Oh, right.
I saw you two together in Egypt.
Oh, you did?
Sorry. No, a friend of mine texted me. He just got my friend. I knew one guy in college. I knew another girl in college. And they just posted photos of themselves together in Egypt at the pyramids of Giza, riding camels. Now, I am obsessed with the Great Pyramids of Giza.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with them. And I was like, dude, I just texted him. Like, I didn't know you guys were
How
married.
did
like,
they build them? How did they build those things?
He's like, we're not married. She's married to someone else. I'm like, that's exactly what I just got on my message right now. So,
but do you guys know about the X-Men 97 thing? The animated series that's about to be released next year?
Yeah.
Well,
wait, next year as in this year or next year
as in 2023?
And Kane, can you explain to me why is 2D animation so expensive? You would think by now it would be cheaper. At least I would think.
I mean, I think they have the animation done because based off of what this guy says, Cal Dodd, who voices Wolverine in the X-Men animated series, just said,
he's kind of dressed like Wolverine too, with the yellow and black motif going on there.
Yeah. So yeah, he was doing voice work today for X-Men 97.
Yo, they got to get the same writers back. It can't just be like, oh, we're just rebooting the show.
I think it's a mixture of same writers and some people who grew up with the show. And so it's like a couple of them are like, I think it's like 2 of the same writers from the last season, and then like 2 new writers.
Okay.
So yeah, and it's like, and new animators and all that stuff, but they were all grouped the show, and they, when they announced that they were, being part of it.
Let me get to this. Chris, I would only agree just because they're willing to tell more adult stories. Like, one of my favorite comic book adaptations is Spawn the Animation. It was not made for children. And anime has some phenomenal made-for-adult animes. I saw recently one called Neverland. Beautiful. Parasite, I saw recently. I'm not an anime person. Attack on Titan is the other one that I'm obsessed with, but they're willing to push those things. Over here in Western media, we tend to think of animation is for kids, not for adults. So very rarely will you get animation for adults. Animation for adults, like Heavy Metal Magazine.
Oh God.
It all leads back
It
to
always
Heavy
goes back
Metal
to
Magazine.
But no, I disagree, Christopher. I think Simpsons went down. Family Guy is still phenomenal. You can't change
Family Guy.
You can't change my mind. South Park has always been consistent. South Park has always been South Park, right?
Yeah.
They have their moments and
Did
stuff.
you see the COVID special they just did?
Yeah, you know what? South Park, I think, is starting to become a little oversaturated for me. What I enjoyed about South Park, is that now they're going to be doing 14 movies and all this other crap.
Yeah,
but
you didn't like it. I actually enjoyed it.
I've always been a fan of Family
the
Guy.
Delta Plus variant rewards program. It killed me because I knew exactly what they're saying.
Right.
It killed me.
I've always been a fan of Family Guy more.
Really? So I was a Family Guy fan because I didn't really watch South Park growing up. I watched South Park in college, and that's when I became a fan.
Right.
Just because the idea of Eric Cartman as a character is just, I mean, come on. The idea that Eric Cartman grows up to be a rabbi, and you can't tell if he's doing it just to mess with Kyle, and he's at Kyle's house, and he's having sex with his wife. He's like, oh, yeah. Remember when Abraham had to, slaughter his own son for God and the Jewish people? Oh, yeah. Did you see it?
No.
Oh my God, the sex scene. Oh my God. And you can tell he's just doing it to mess with Kyle because Kyle doesn't believe that Cartman has become a rabbi.
Right.
Basically, you have to watch it. You have to watch it. Because I felt like for a while they became too topical. Like it always became, what's happening in the news? Let's make an episode about that. My favorite episode is South Park where the kids are just being kids.
Yeah, that's the other thing I get tired of that too. Family Guy is still pretty consistent and stuff, and I still watch them. They're still great. I mean, they just
Cartman is the best. So what else was on the agenda? We talked about Kim K. We talked about Gal. Wow, we actually hit all our topics. We even talked about the CW being put on sale.
Yep, it's trash.
Yeah,
nobody wants it. Get rid of it. Burn it alive.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, so actually we hit our topics today.
Nexstar is buying it. Nexstar, and
that goes to tell you how many of you people in the chat have heard of Nexstar. What the is that?
Yeah, I had no clue who they were.
So that tells you they're.
But all the shows that Warner Media has, that all the IPs that they own that are streaming on CW will go to HBO Max. And you know what that means? Budget raises.
No, are you kidding me? This is the perfect time. Shut it all down and start over.
Yeah, or bring the WB back.
Maybe.
I miss the WB. Remember the frog? Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
Really,
hello, my ragtime gal. You guys want to hear some Sinatra? I can't play it. I would love if I could just play some Sinatra right now. We just jam out to some Frank Sinatra, but we can't.
But alas.
Christopher Parker. I sold all my CDs.
Chris Park, are you new? Because I think I've seen you before. I sold my CD. Why'd you buy them on Blu-ray in the first place, brother?
Well, the reason why Warner Bros. TV changed to CW is because of CBS.
Yeah, CBS. Yeah, CBS. Yeah, CBS had UPN. Were you here when I talked about that merger?
No, I don't.
Damn it, Caden. I did the show for like half an hour by myself.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I woke up at literally at 1:30.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna be pretty awake after 6:05. Oh my, WBTV got cucked by CW.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Chris, I like you.
Well,
man.
more like CBS.
Become a channel
it's
member.
all CBS's fault.
Yeah.
Because
guys, real quick, let's plug ourselves. Austin has a channel called Little Big City Studios. Look it up. He's got his show Lean on Me. But Austin, where can we find you on Twitter?
On the Twitter, you can find me at AlienLV1023.
Because he's an alien.
It's pretty simple, Alien.
Alien LV.
LV for Las Vegas 1023.
1023. That's
my Twitter. That's my Instagram. So all that stuff. But I jump around. Obviously, I have my channel, Little Big City, with Lean on Me. Caden is starting his own show tomorrow. The Caden Hour, the weekly Caden Report, in which he'll kind of be summarizing the week's news and stuff. We have the Big Bet podcast, which is
Chris. Are you hitting on me?
Oh yeah. But yeah,
I'm straight, brother. But yeah, add me, Jack Sheriff. It's a picture of me, literally.
Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, Jack Sheriff on Facebook.
Sam, why don't you add me?
But yeah, no, we have the Big Bet.
Like, hi, Jack. It's Mikasuka.
We have a Big Bet podcast on Saturdays now, which are going to be live. So if you're into sports, you can check that out.
Yeah,
covering football.
You're really like diversifying that. So like people who like sports stats, which is a huge market, they got it.
Yeah, these guys, they talk about sports stats, sports betting, all of it. And then we're going to be having a music show coming up as well, too.
Oh, yeah, my name's Sharaf. I'll put it in the...
Who's
you know what?
Got the sheriff?
Sharaf. Sharaf.
Who shot the sheriff?
But, yeah, and you can find me on Twitter, Jivin with Jack. I encourage all of you to follow me. I'll be getting a little more active with my posts in the next month or so. Gentlemen, you three of us know this is kind of a moment.
Yes.
Could be last moment, but I really want to say that I've had a blast, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Make sure you hit the notification for Pop Culture Corner. Ty is working on a lot of pre-recorded videos. He bought a very high-end camera, and look, we do this for you.
$3, guys.
We could get a cheap-ass camera and just do here, but we don't. We try to make sure that even visually, and audio-wise, you're getting the best quality you can. Yeah. And so make sure you give some support to Ty and everything. And that's all I have to say. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Any last topics? Any last thing anyone wants to talk about?
Jack shot the sheriff.
That's right. Jack. That's the new show. Jack shot the sheriff.
But he didn't shoot no deputy. No.
Yeah, so all right, folks. Remember, always remember. Caden, get the button ready. I gotta do this right. We do it for you, and we do it for the culture.